All right, Facebook Live. Hey, man, we're back on the gospel train. You've got yours truly, the Deac, and I'm your conductor. We've got a guest artist in the house today, man. We've got Roy of Roy and Revelation. What's up, man?
How you doing, Deac?
Man, I'm doing really good, man.
That's good.
Hey, we got a gospel superstar in the house, man. So man. So hey, this is how I started off the conversation. How did it all get going?
Oh man, if we're gonna go from the beginning.
The beginning.
Ever since I was a child, my father used to do a lot of revivals.
Mm-hmm. Your father's a minister.
My father's a pastor. So was my grandfather. But my father used to do a lot of revivals in the Low Country in South Carolina, all over the world. So when I was a little boy, right before my dad would always preach, I would always get the chance or the opportunity to go up and sing this song that says, "God has smiled on me."
Oh man!
Every time, every night, wherever it was, we would go sing, "God has smiled on me." And then growing up, my mother was a bass player. She's an organist. She could play a little drums, and my dad was a lead singer for a quartet group back in Hopkins, South Carolina too.
Okay.
So they, other than high school and other just being in two different quartet groups, they met each other. But eventually when God called my father into the ministry, he came out the road and she followed him. She went with his vision. But I came up with the rest of the family just singing quartet. So ever since then, when Revelation started, I was not the lead singer. I was the bass player.
Okay.
And what happened was the lead singer, James Adams, which is my cousin, God had called him to do something else greater or bigger, and we needed a lead singer. And that was just the time that I performed that night as the lead singer. And ever since then, I've been the lead singer.
All right, so how long has the group Revelation, when did the group Revelation start?
In 1999.
1999.
1999.
All right. And another fella, your cousin, was the lead singer. All right. And so then, once he got called to do something else, that's when you stepped in and became the lead singer.
Right.
Man. So what's your, you mentioned that your mom was a bass player and your dad was a lead singer in a quartet group as well as a pastor. What other musical influences do you have?
So many. Reverend George R. Johnson. There's a song that I did on my Blessed by the Best album that says, Everyone That Says. So that was a song that they sung when I was coming up as a kid. And I loved it. And I just decided to record it over a few years down the road. South Carolina just had so many, because where I come from, before I got to see who the majors were, I can only see the local groups in the areas.
Yeah.
And they weren't just local because they weren't good enough. They were more so local because they had families, they had good paying jobs. So they didn't just decide to not go to work and go on the road. So like my family, Deacon Pelham Myers and Five Singing Stars, the song I did on my first album called The Love of Jesus, that was a family group. My uncle sung on that group. He was the lead singer on that song, The Love of Jesus. So when we did that, I wanted to pay homage to them. So for me, before I even got to see who Willie Banks and all them in person was,
the local.
It was the locals.
Man.
The locals. And again, local don't mean that you're not good. It just means that you decided not to go on the road and just stay home.
You got other obligations.
Yeah. So whenever somebody say, you're a local, you're a local. It doesn't mean that you're not good. You just got other obligations.
Yeah. But hey, man, I like the way that you put that. When you mention some of these older groups, what's some of your favorites?
Willie Banks. Willie Banks is, anybody that know me, they're gonna tell you like Willie Banks gonna be
Now you know I'm a huge Willie Banks fan.
I'm a huge Willie Banks fan.
Man, now what's your Willie Banks song? I'm gonna give you my Willie Banks song.
There Be No Tomorrow.
Oh man, you know what? You surprised me with that
tomorrow.
one. Now I tell you what, that is an awesome song.
That's an awesome song.
Yeah.
There Be No Tomorrow. and the crazy thing is the words are so powerful, and the music is simple. And I think like today we've gotten away from the words being powerful. Yeah, we got like so much music and so many breaks and so many click tracks, and that's fine. Yeah, but when it overpowers, there's no balance in that in the music no more. And the words, I don't think when the words can't be what's the word? Solidified. When the words cannot just be inside, like, that's true facts. Because the music is doing so much. It's a division somewhere. But if I could choose a Willie Banks song, No Tomorrow. Man,
that is an awesome song right there. Now mine is Things I Can't Change.
Oh man. Oh now. Things I Can't Change.
Things I Can't Change. Willie, you know. We'll hold that conversation for another time. A friend of mine, we had this conversation. It turned into an argument just about. But we tried to stop it. We tried to name the top 5 quartets of all time, and man, he got then we called out some names, and then we thought about it. Then we went back to it. We couldn't do it because man, there was so much talent out there. There's so much, and they're just great groups and great songs. So that's just something trying to figure out who the GOAT is. You can't, man. You can't. You know, with what we're doing with gospel music is a ministry, and it's just like the Bible. You know, when you read the Bible, every time you read it, it can mean something different. And every time that you listen to There'll Be No Tomorrow or Things I Can't Change, it can mean something different to you. Right. So that's why we can't come up in gospel music of who is the GOAT and what's the best song. It just depends on where your heart is at the moment. And that's the great thing about the gospel. You're right. Man. That's so true. Many might say, well, this one is the best and this one's the GOAT, this, that, and third. I heard somebody say on Facebook Live, like, in basketball, oh no, Michael Jordan gonna always go down as the GOAT. But you got LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, and because they probably didn't win, you know, the championships or many as he did, can you say that because what they didn't do doesn't put them in the category of? I hope we ain't even talk about basketball. Because I thought we were off to a great friendship. But times change. What I'm saying is times change. You know, times change. You know, now we're doing Quartet in a new age. So like now it's not really many radio stations anymore. Man, tell me about it. So now, you know, social media is probably the best way to get your music out. So now, best platform. You got to think of your followers make you somebody more than your record sales. Yeah. Or your followers make you somebody more than your actual bookings. Or your real demand. So it's like, where do you stand? If I got 290,000 followers, but I'm not in demand, does that make you a GOAT? No, you're not the GOAT. I mean, but we're living in a time where times have changed. Yeah. You know, I get 209,000 followers. I might not never get booked, but I got 209,000 followers. Yeah, that means we can't pay the light bill. I'm with you. Bills got to be paid. Bills got to be paid, man. Bills got to be paid. You're right. Man, I mean, there's so many different ways we can go with this conversation because it looked like you want to talk about basketball now. No. And hold on, I'm going to do this real quick. Who's your favorite player of all time? Basketball? Basketball, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to go with Jordan because that's what you expect. No. I'm just, I'm asking you for your opinion. I mean, I love basketball, and I'm probably going to go down for like the haters or somebody for saying something stupid. No, go ahead. I'm going for me. I love Sean Kemp. I didn't say he's the greatest. I said I love Sean Kemp. Man, the Rain Man. Who? The Rain Man. Sean Kemp.
You're right.
Yeah.
I love Sean Kemp. And if I had to choose another person, point guard.
Yeah.
Oh man, Allen Iverson.
AI.
AI. Got to.
Okay. All right.
Gotta be.
You know what? I ain't gonna argue with him. He had some really, really good choices there. Allen Iverson,
Right.
Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp.
Man, Sean Kemp, one of the best power forwards ever played, man.
Ever played.
Man.
Ever played.
Man, he's an awesome guy. And then, of course, you know, what is it? The answer, Allen Iverson.
Ooh.
Anyway, let's get back to gospel because we're going to end up arguing because everybody knows how I feel about basketball. We're going to get to arguing and I can see that coming. So, I've got Roy and Revelation in here. So, the group Revelation started in 1999. Mm-hmm. Your cousin was the lead singer. Then he got called to do something a little bit different. Then you came in, you started singing. What's some of the most memorable moments thus far in your career right now?
Let's not even talk about up this far.
Okay.
Because like up this far is not. It's memorable, but it's not heartfelt.
Okay.
Most memorable is when we were kids. We didn't have no driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin that passed away was like the one that got us to all our events. He was the keyboard player. My brother was probably like 7, 8 years old playing a bass guitar that was taller than him. But he could play it.
Yeah.
And the most memorable events would be we went to a recording studio one night. And this is when I knew I just felt like something good was going to happen. We broke down on the way coming back, and it was so cold outside. I mean, like, so cold. And my cousin, Big Jake, you know, he made sure that when we got in the car with my cousin Brandon, who came and picked us up. Now, this is the funny part. Big Jake's car broke down. We got in Brandon's car. It was so cold. Brandon's car didn't have no heat. But Big Jake, I don't know how he did it. He made sure, because it was so cold, the windows kept fogging up. He made sure that the windows didn't fog up. He made sure that we was warm. He made sure, and his thing has always been like, hey, if I'm with you, you're going to be straight.
Man, you know,
Gonna be straight.
It's something that I tell all the people that's, you know, in my class. One thing I remember about my granddad, and I think, you know, the true testament of a man is when you're with him and you don't have to worry about anything, because no matter what happens, they can take care of it. And so that's why I've tried to pattern myself after. No matter what happens, guess what? I'll take care of it. And then I've got a friend, I got an instructor, Mr. Terry Bragg. When I first started teaching at the college, man, I just saw something. He said, hey, ain't no problem with Mr. Bragg, ain't no problem with Mr. Bragg. And so I've tried to pattern myself after. And then listening to you talking about Big Jake. Right. And hey, no matter what, man, he's going to take care of it, man. He's
going to take care of it. And he did it. Like, we used to ride around, and my Uncle John had it might have been like a 1986, 87 green and white Chevrolet pickup truck. And in front wouldn't be nobody but me, Raynard, and Big Jake. I mean, that was going. And on the back of the truck, we got the drums, the speakers.
You got everything.
We got everything, but it was just the grind and the hustle. Like, we had to do it. It was never a holiday that we didn't spend practicing. 4th of July, New Year's Eve, Christmas. We were down there. My mom and daddy literally would have to come to the church and run us out of there. Tell us, like, y'all running up the bill. Get out of here. Get out. And that's just how it was.
So I'm listening to you, and, you know, asked Roy, okay, what was some of the most memorable moments in your career? And he's not talking about those mountaintop experiences where he's, you know, receiving all these accolades. It's the grind, it's the struggle, and it's just those everyday moments that are memorable to him. And that's in life. You remember those. You're gonna remember those, and you're gonna cherish those valley experiences a lot more than those mountaintop, because most time when you get to the mountaintop, you're tired.
You're tired.
You're like, hey, I deserve this. But what I think back on is when I was struggling, when I was down and out.
The struggle keeps you humble too.
Yeah, that's it right there. The struggle keeps you humble.
The struggle keeps you humble. It's when you feel like you've made it or arrived.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it goes down.
Yeah.
And then when you don't have anybody to pour back into you what you give out, especially positive. That's why it's important to stay in church.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's important to always stay in your word, stay on your knees praying. Because when you out and you're hustling and grinding and you're just pouring out so much, when nobody is pouring back into you, there's no focus. There's no, now everybody feel like they can say what they want to say to you, and now everybody feel like they can do what they want to do, and now you don't know what to do because you ain't in your word no more. You ain't on your knees. You know, now you're trying to do everything to please everybody but God.
Man, and you gotta please God.
You gotta please God.
So, in your music ministry, you're singing God's praises.
Mm-hmm.
While you're on the stage, what runs through your mind? Because you have to remember, most of the people that are your followers, the people that are on the gospel train, will never have that experience of being on stage and ministering to hundreds and thousands of people. What goes through your mind when you're on stage?
The biggest thing that's ever going through my mind, or that does go through my mind, is I did the Bobby Jones show some years ago, and I knew I was sick, but I pushed through it. But the biggest thing that go through your mind is while you're on stage, what if I die right here?
Wow. Man, that's deep.
That's the biggest thing.
You know, conversations when I go out and I do mentoring, and I try to get people to realize where they're at in life. And one way I do that is I say, what do you think they're going to have on your obituary? You know, I've gone to some funerals where on the obituary, all they had on there was, hey, he was born, such and such date. And then, he graduated from high school and he worked at this job. And then that was it. I'm talking about 4 lines. And you look like, wow. You want your obituary to be, to tell a full story. In the Bible, they talk about Methuselah. He lived to be the oldest man in the Bible, 900 and some odd years old. But guess what? That was the only thing they said about him. In the whole Bible, the only thing they mentioned about Methuselah was he lived to be 900, I want to say 69 years old. That was it.
That's it.
So what was the importance? That he just lived to be an old man? When you're out living life, when you're on stage performing, man, you have got to pour into people. You got to, like you said a while ago, you are a minister of music. You're pouring into other people's spirit. You're pouring into their soul. A lot of people need uplifting. The song that you sing, Dr. Jesus. Man, I was pumping gas yesterday. See, you don't even know that I was pumping gas yesterday. And I run a landscaping business, and I'm putting gas in my mowers and everything, and Dr. Jesus, come on. I was out there pumping gas, and I had to put the devil under my feet. I said, well, you folks gonna think I'm crazy out here. Man, when you have a song that has that much oomph in it, while you sleep, somebody listening to your song. We play gospel on the gospel train just about all day, all night long. And when we play these songs, man, these people are testifying and say, man, I had somebody earlier today when I played the song, they were like, man, that's my song. And, I get stopped all the time. Hey, man, you played my song, man. That really did something for me. The music that you put out, man, that's helping people get through their week, man. And I appreciate that, man, because you're an awesome young man.
I'm trying. And what's crazy is, like you say, pumping gas. I was going to say, too, like, every artist, every preacher, just every individual that's doing ministry, it's like you gotta treat it like you treat your car. You can only drive your car for so long without getting gas.
Yeah.
You can only drive your car for so long without getting a tune-up. You can only drive your car for so long without getting an oil change. Or try driving your car with no oil. It'll do like your body will. It'll let you know we're going to shut down. That's the same way you got to treat just the ministry. You got to treat it that same way.
Got to.
You got to treat it that same way.
Man, you know, you mentioned that, and I'm always doing something. I'm always on the road. Everybody knows I'm always working. There's no telling how many cities I will be in one day. So I'm always at the gas station. I'm always getting gas. And I have a vehicle that calls for premium gas. But I tried to be a little cheap. I said, well, you know, I'm going to put some regular in there.
Yeah, put that in there.
And so for about a year, I put regular in there. And the truck didn't perform like it was supposed to. So I ended up taking it to the shop, and they went through it, and they said, well, you know, something that's not quite right. So anyway, I had to start changing the gas and putting what was supposed to go in there. And the truck is performing better. So a lot of times when we are supposed to be going to church, you just putting regular gas in there. But if you were to go and you were to participate, and you would actually take the word of God with you, that's that premium right there. That's that super right there.
Right.
And when you do that, you will be able to perform at a higher rate. You got to take the word of God with you. And and if you're doing a lot of things, you got to always stay on your knees. You got to continue to pray and do things, man. Hey, I got Raw and Revelation right here with me. Man, we're having a pretty good conversation here.
It's pretty good. I didn't think you was going to try to be that deep, though.
Oh, wait, we talking about basketball, man, you know? Man.
That's crazy.
Man.
But it's good, though.
It's good.
Though.
It's needed, man.
It's needed. I was going to say that. It's needed.
It's needed.
It's needed.
So, when you're on stage, you know, what if I die right here, man? You're leaving, you know, you've got a legacy, man, when you're out there on stage.
Yeah, and like a scary thing has always been, like my father's always been on, you know, well, what good is it? You know, you travel around the world, you know, help everybody else make it in.
Mm-hmm.
Help everybody else get saved.
Oh, man.
Help everybody else make it in the door. And then when you get there, and like he don't even know your name.
Man, that's something else. What good is it, man, for
Right.
for all the people out there that have ministries? You got TV ministries, online ministries, or traditional pastors. What good is it if you're helping everybody else get in there, but when you get to the door,
You don't know your name.
I know you're not. Everybody, you need to pay attention, man. Hey, it's time to get right with the Lord, man. A lot of things. The pandemic, I'll bring that up. The pandemic should bring a lot of things up close and personal to you. I lost a lot of people that were close to me. Some church members. There's a deacon that I sit next to in the deacon corner for, oh my God, probably the last 7 or 8 years, man. And, you know, lost him to the coronavirus. And it puts things in perspective about how life should be lived. It puts things in perspective about how life should be lived. How has the pandemic affected you and your ministry?
Oh, well, I mean, I've lost family members too. Quite a few of them. I also feel as though the pandemic, when it came, it was a humbling experience to where it made everybody be flat at this table. You know, there's no big eyes, no little U's. you're not exempt.
Mm.
You are not exempt. And then it was also where it was a attention getter for a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're looking at something that kill more people than AIDS.
Man, over what 500,000 people are killed in the United States.
We're looking at something that has killed more, because at one point in time, AIDS was the biggest
epidemic.
Right, epidemic, uncurable disease for forever. And then now here comes out of nowhere. Here comes the COVID, and it's almost like, okay, well, like God is trying to show the world, like, listen, I'm getting sick and tired of the disobedience. I'm getting sick and tired of, you playing with me. I'm getting sick and tired of you're thinking that you're doing it on your own. So now what I got to do is I got to do something where I got to shut everything down. Everything shut down. The NBA shut down.
Mm-hmm.
The NFL shut down. Churches shut down. Businesses shut down. Because everybody was afraid and they was scared. And it was almost like, well, if all of this is happening, what do we do? How do you survive it? The only way that God was getting attention was like, somebody got to start again. We got to get back on our knees. And what's happening is like we vent to everybody about everything. We vent to everybody about who don't like me. We vent to everybody about what's not this and what's not that. But when this pandemic came, God was like, listen, I'm going to keep y'all from venting and talking to each other and talk to me.
Yeah.
You got to talk to me. If you ain't going to talk to me, nobody else can fix it. Nobody else can handle it. So talk to me.
Man. So I was thinking about this. I had this conversation with my best friend last night. I know that I have been around someone who has had the coronavirus and I didn't get sick. I know that, I have to go to work every day. I'm an essential worker. And God has protected me.
And grace.
Grace and mercy. And I think about that daily. People that I knew that got sick, extremely sick, passed away, and I'm still out here on the battlefield. And I thank God for that. That I'm still able to keep it moving. And it's just by the grace of God. So, in talking about the pandemic, before the pandemic, how often were you on the road?
Almost every weekend.
Every weekend?
Every weekend. If not Saturday and Sunday, it'll either be a Saturday or a Sunday.
Uh-huh.
But when the pandemic came, it changed a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the pandemic situation also just gave me a chance and a time to just do some stuff that I wanted to do, and some stuff that I know I needed to do that I just wasn't doing. It's a humbling experience.
Do you have a cash app?
Yeah.
You got a cash app? Yeah. What's your cash app?
You gonna send some over here? I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Yeah.
It's it's dollars.
I got $5 somewhere. What is it?
It's $.
$.
Ladson boy. That's LADSON BOY 83. 83 is the year that I was born.
83 is a special number for me.
Why?
I'll tell you that. I can't tell you in front of everybody. So, holler that out one more time. And somebody write that. Somebody pin that on the page for me.
It's Ladson. It's $. Ladson boy.
Ladson boy. Spell it.
LADSON BOY 83.
All right. That is his cash app right there. That is his cash app. We do that for every artist that comes on the gospel train. It's always good to sow into good ground. We're sitting here, we're talking to Roy and Revelation. You can tell, man, he's got God in him. He's a good fellow. Always sow into good ground. Also, we'll put this out here. Thank you, Crystal, for putting that out there for his cash app. also for the gospel train. You know, for a long time I didn't take anything, and I had some people that stopped me. Matter of fact, I had somebody from the sheriff department stop me the other day, wanted some music, and then before he let me go, he said, "Look, you need to stop people from, you need to stop stopping people from blessing you." So the gospel train, the cash app for the gospel train is I am Courtney with a K. All right, and that is, of course, that's the boss lady. That's my co-host for the 6 o'clock hour. The request ride, when you say it, we play it. So it's $ I am Courtney with a K. Somebody pin that out there for me as well. Always sowing the good ground, man. Song that they used to sing in church a long time. You can't be God given, no matter how hard you try. So, man. Yeah. Man, so I've got Roy in Revelation here. He performed yesterday in Montgomery. So he was in Montgomery on yesterday. And then today he was in Macon, Georgia for a pastor's anniversary. Enjoyed himself up in Macon, Georgia. And so now we're here on the gospel train, man. And you guys, you know, we're in the gospel train. Usually we're from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day. And then we come back in the afternoon with Courtney with the K and myself for the request ride, where you say it, we play it. No matter what it is, we'll get it on, man. We play a lot of old gospel. Man, there's some folks, man, they go, we got to dig deep in the crates to get some of this stuff, man.
Man, I love old gospel. It's the substance in it.
Uh-huh.
It's digging deep.
Mm-hmm.
So
digging deep.
It's digging deep.
Man. So do you have any memorable concerts you've ever been on, like a car that you was on, like a lineup or whatever?
My first one, Mr. Paul Dorsey, gave me a chance. No. My first one was Miss Grace Rose. This is when we were kids. She gave us a chance all the way in Blackstock, Virginia.
Okay.
And it was Lee Williams, and I think like 2 male courses, and ourselves. And that place was standing room only.
Man.
This is when Lee Williams was firecracker high.
Man.
Lee Williams, 2 male courses, and Lil Roy. And I mean, wall to wall.
Wall to wall.
Wall to wall.
I've seen you, I want to say twice, at Albany Civic Center for the Family Reunion Fest. Yeah, that's where I've seen you at down there in Albany, Georgia for the Family Reunion Fest. When they would have these different lineups, they have like 15 different groups down there.
I'm telling you.
And it was something to see, man. So I've seen you on stage now. I've been checking you out for a while now. All right, I've been checking you out for a while, man.
Yeah,
you guys do a fantastic job.
Pray for us.
Well, I am.
Pray for us,
man. So, in your spare time, when you're not on the stage singing God's praises, what do you do?
I'm still working on music.
So do you write?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. Actually, I just recently did something with a lot of good quartet artists from all over called Quartet DNA.
Yeah. They got T-shirts out, don't they?
Yeah, we just did some T-shirts and a vision, but it's coming soon.
I wear 2 eggs.
I got you.
Okay.
We decided to go back and pay homage to good gospel quartet. And I've actually just been working on a slight few other things so far as something called the soaps. I ain't gonna go into too.
Okay.
You know, but soaps. Soap stands for the son of a preacher.
All right.
Because my father's a pastor. And then I've also been just like trying to figure out. Well, not trying to figure out. I know what it's going to be, but I just want to do something different because I feel like being different and unique stands out. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I feel like is needed. So that's where I am.
So let me you brought up this earlier. Old quartet, today's quartet.
Right.
What's the difference?
The sound, the uniqueness. You had the Cannons, you got the Lee Williams, you got the Jacksons up in there, the Jews, Doc McKenzie, the Mighty Clouds of Joy, all on one event. Don't nobody sound the same. Don't nobody has the same approach. identity.
Mm-hmm.
Identity.
Yeah.
You knew when Tommy Ellison came on, if he came on with Closer, you can be outside. You knew that's Tommy Ellison.
I think the first time that I'll say this, I'll never say this to anybody. I remember I was in Albany, Georgia, at the family reunion fest, and I was sitting there, and I ain't one of them people that just jump up out my seat, but Big O hit that "Let This Be a Lesson to You," hit that bass line.
He was on it.
I had to look like, man, how did I get out that chair fast, man? Oh my God, it'll make you move.
It'll make you move.
It'll make you move.
It's and you know the old quartet they played it with finesse. In other words, like even if you go back to the Motown days, if you didn't get it right, you started over and you played it until you got it right. You know, now of course, I mean, which you can't knock it, but now what happens is if you can't sing, if you can't play or whatnot, we can go and erase it and cut and paste and fix it to make it to what it is. Versus back then, you know, it was mandatory.
You just had to have it.
You had to have it. If you didn't have it, it'll show. It'll tell on you.
Not to knock anybody, but I have seen some groups that did great on their CD, but then live, it wasn't what you wanted. When you're doing something like that, you've got to work really hard at your craft. You got to work really hard at your craft. One thing about people can be mean-spirited. People can be mean-spirited. We do something, and Ronica told me to tell you hello.
Listen, I've been following Ronica for a long time. I've been following Ronica for years.
Man, she was my guest last week. And now last week on the Gospel Train, man, I almost got fired. There's a segment that we do here at 9:30 called Sweep It or Keep It. That idea was brought to me by David Talley of the Talley Brothers. Used to be the drummer for the Keynotes. I thought David and I were friends. Come to find out, me and David ain't friends. He almost got me fired. So I took the idea on do Sweep It or Keep It, and I did preview the music, and I thought that the song might make it. I did.
What song?
Nah, we ain't gonna do that now. We ain't gonna do that. I thought the song. And
who was it by?
But what's wrong with you? Man, you know what? You just like Roger. You trying to get me fired.
Don't worry about it.
So, on Sweep It or Keep It, the people online, they say keep it or they say sweep it. And so, the brooms came out.
Sweep it?
Yeah. The brooms came out. Now, there was some people that were saying keep it, so it was a back and forth battle.
Ooh.
And so, the artist was online, was listening to the show, was on the show. And when I do Sweep It or Keep It, I never call out the artist's name. I just, I say, hey, this is what we're going to do right now. I don't say the name of the song. I don't say the name of the artist, because I want people to just listen to it and tell me what they think. The artist got mad. Said a few things to me. Said a few things to the people online. People online said a few things to her. So it got a little tested. And so, my next segment was my interview with Ronica. And she had to interview me because I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it went that bad. And what we came up with, now David Talley did come on the show that afternoon and he explained, hey, it's constructive criticism. Here's the thing. Everybody knows my favorite group of all time is Willie Neal Johnson and the Keynotes. But they've got some stuff I don't want to hear.
That's every group.
That's every group.
That's every group.
Just because, someone doesn't like a particular song that you have doesn't mean they don't like you. Even if it's something secular, if I'm listening to, Keith Sweat or something like that right there, everything he got, I ain't gonna listen to.
Don't make him a bad artist.
Don't make him a bad artist.
Don't make him a bad artist.
But Ronca did tell me that I was wrong. And she was right. I thought I had reached out to the artist to tell them that I was going to put it on Sweep It or Keep It, and I forgot to. So she was hot about that, But so we did a sweep to keep it today, and I already knew who I was gonna have on there, and I already talked to the artist.
Was it me?
No. Man, look at that. They get hot about this, man. They get hot about me.
I was no. It wasn't me. I mean, it was me, like, hey.
No, man, I did Ronica today, man. I have put a song out about Ronica. And, of course, everybody loved
I'm about
the
to
song.
say, it should have been a keep it.
Yeah, it was a keep it, man. It was a keep it.
Should have been a keep it.
But she talked to me last night. She told me that if anything went wrong, she was going to get me.
Oh yeah.
But so sweep it or keep it is not to embarrass anybody.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, you know, as I won't say David Talley said that, you know, they had a keynote song one time. They got swept. And he said, well, so hey, we're back to the drawing board. Hey, we'll try something else. And that's what that was. So anyway, that 9:30 segment, sweep it or keep it, can get dangerous around here. Anything you want to share with the people before we get out of here? I'm not going to hold you all day because, you know, we got to go eat.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, number one, thank you for allowing me to be right here on your radio broadcast. I feel like it's a phenomenal thing that we need. Number two, I don't even know. I thought I sent it to you.
What?
The song called Pull Together.
I
don't know if I sent it to you. But Run Revelation do have a new album out that's saying the Book of Revelation. And I guess a lot of people want to know where that name came from. But again, my cousin James came up with the name Revelation. And my mama sat us down a long time ago and just told us why the name Revelation was going to be something and why it was powerful, because a lot of people are afraid to read the Book of Revelation because it speaks about the mark of the beast and the fire and dying, going to hell. So what people are afraid to read about, you can sing about it. So that's where the songs like If I Die, My Soul Be Lost come about, and Cinnamon comes about. All those songs like that, because it's still talking about death.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite right there, Cinnamon.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah.
You know, so that, I mean, that's, you know, all of those songs, they fall in line with just that name of Revelation. But other than that, I'm glad just to be a part of your TV.
Great, man. We do a lot of things now. We do a lot of things here. Right here on the gospel train.
Gospel train.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, the gospel train.
I like it.
Hey, man, you see what I got pulled up? I got it. All that stuff is raw in Revelation now. You see that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All that stuff is raw in Revelation. I got Dr. Jesus up there. What's the song you just called out?
Cinnamon.
No, I ain't talking about them. The other one, the new
Pull
one.
Together.
Pull Together. Let me see if I got Pull Together on there. Let's see if we can find that right there. Let's see, Pull Together there. So, this is what we're going to do right here. While you're here, we're going to do a little bit of Dr. Jesus. We're going to do a little bit of Dr. Jesus.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get out of here. All right?
That'll work.
All right.
I'm going to do it like this, and I need y'all to put the devil under your feet when I say, oh, Dr. Jesus. Dr. Jesus. Said he made everything all right. Somebody help Dr. Jesus. Dr. Jesus. Said he'll make everything. I need somebody. I need to see that Dr. Jesus. Dr. Jesus. Said he'll make everything all right. If I say trust and believe, God, He will make everything all right.
Hey, that was Roy in Revelation with Dr. Jesus. Hey, I've enjoyed you guys. I'll be back at 6 o'clock for the request ride. We'll see you then. All right? Love you guys.